Keylolo. I gotta ask you about that hilarious character. Now, how did that come about? You get in that role in Martin.
I'm a lucky girl, huh? I'm just just call me lucky.
Yo, they don't make them like Yo-Yo no more.
Not really, man. You old school, man.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm just a lucky girl. Wait, okay, so Cube had Martin doing some interludes on my album. Was it my album, his album? I think it was my album. It was somebody's album. And Martin, we were in the studio, Echo Sounds. Shout out to Echo Sounds. We were at Echo Sounds and Martin said, yo, I'm doing this show for Warner Brothers and it's and I have a character and the character name is Sheneneh. He said, and I want you to be, I'm going to make you Sheneneh's best friend and I'm going to call you Keylolo. And I said, okay, never knew the character, never seen the character,
right,
just conversation in the studio. I mean, maybe a year later, or I don't know if it was a year, maybe 9 months, something like that later, I get a call from William Morris saying that I have an audition. I mean, that Warner Brothers wants to see me. They sent me over some sides and I'm studying the sides. I'm like, shit, I gotta get this. Damn, I gotta get this part. So I'm in there and I'm listening to, I'm reading the lines like, all of this and all, that's all I'm seeing. And I'm like, huh? And this is at the time where people were, ragging on Shaq because they had him in the skirt. It was like, they trying to make our black men women. And, this was a time where
they've been saying that forever. It's always an issue. Tommy Davidson has said something about that too.
Light-skinned women were going against dark-skinned women, and we were at this what's that movie they made where, the college movies where it was just like, it was just too much division. We were in that space at that time. So I was like, is this almost like blackface to my homegirls or, women from the hood? Like, am I mocking them? Mm-hmm. So I didn't really know how to take it in the beginning of all of that. And so, but I went in there because, every time I tried to present myself, I was trying to come out of the South Central style.
It's fucked up that, I hate to curse like that. It's so messed up that all the rules that come with being black
kind of limit you a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Like a white man don't gotta be like, is this disrespectful to the Irish?
No, I'm quite sure they do though.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. There's no white actor in the world that feels like they're cooning or whatever to,
no such thing.
Ham boning. That's what they call when white people try to fit in or whatever. Come on, man. They don't care. Is this too stereotypical of the white race? They don't care.
Black folks been through a lot here in the United States. We understand. We're psychologically damaged, son.
Yeah. We're sensitive. Mm-hmm. We have trauma. That's the word I'm looking for because I'm a doctor like Cheyenne Bryant.
What? Everybody, I didn't want them to, we already had stereotype from the rapping and I just thought that I was adding to that stereotype. So I really was shy. I would do my part, never really talked about it. I would do what they need me to do and we film like maybe 5 shows a day. I mean, I was there while they was filming. They would film like 3 and then I would do another, so they were filming their butts off for this Martin show. And I became a recurring character and paid me well, still pay me my royalties to this day.
That's what's up.
The kids who don't know Yo-Yo definitely know Keylolo. So that was like kudos to Martin Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you my favorite way. I got a couple ways, but I'm only going to tell you 2. One is the boy, the snotty nosed boy. Listen,
right, Roscoe Martin. Yeah, Juan was stupid.
She said snotty nosed boy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he got Martin, the little propeller.
Yeah.
He never went on script. He would always ad lib. I'm telling you, when I tell you this dude is a genius, I hate that it went away the way it did because Martin is just, I'm talking about, he would get deep into character. When we would run lines, I would just be so captivated by him. They'd be like, oh, yo, line. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm watching the show. And the other time was when he just was done with it. When he had his meltdown, he was just like, you know what? I'm done. He was like, He had them Sheneneh nails on. Sheneneh nails on. And in LA, we didn't call those things fanny packs. I don't know what we call them, but it's like, where is her fanny pack? He had the nails on, dressed in Sheneneh. He had the Sheneneh braids on, the lipstick. He had the stockings with the overalls. He had the fake breasts on it. He was standing there. He was like, don't nobody know where Sheneneh fanny pack is. And I'm thinking he's just joking.
He's starting to nut out.
So he mad, but he's still a Sheneneh character. He's legit having a Sheneneh freak out. Nobody don't know.
No, he's having legit meltdown.
Right. He having a meltdown. But I'm saying, but he between
cracking up over there, dying, laughing. He's like, don't know, and everybody moving around looking. He's like, no. Don't nobody know what Sheneneh fanny pack is, and I'm dying laughing. He was dead serious. He threw his script up in the air and walked off the set. I was like, oh, wait. It's still one of the funniest moments I ever seen. But he was hilarious. A strictly business. Love him to this day. Love him to this day. A man of his word.
When he did that midget character, he was on his knees, right? His knees was inside the shoes.
And his knee on his knees with that snot running out his nose, and he'd be like, just stupid. You hear me? Just stupid. And I'm talking about, you'd have to be there. Listen, it was a live audience, taped in front of a live audience. When I tell you, this man is just to think about it, you'd have to know. And he just wouldn't stop. He just would not get out of character. He would not break character. He was just hilarious the way
Shout out to the art of dialogue, man.
Yeah. Shout out to that dialogue.
Shout out to Yo-Yo too, man.
Yo-Yo is one of the last of a dying breed, man. Yeah, it's definitely good to see. She's in good spirits,
absolutely.
Good health.
So involved. He was so involved. Martin was so involved in the production. It was good to be around. Good energy. It was a good place to start understanding how somebody really captured the art of what they were portraying.
So he would change from character to character when y'all was on set.
Yeah, they had his costume department. They had it all. They had the sticky nails. You used to have to press on nails. And the press on nails was the funniest part, because if you touch anything with the press on nails, they come off. So everything was like this, even when you was eating at the snack table.
So we had to watch it again and see what he's doing, whatever he's doing.
I'm thinking that's part of the character, but he's probably also at the same time trying to not break off the nail.
And listen, and while she's speaking, I'm reminiscing.
Yeah, he was always like that.
Yeah, that was always part of it with Keylolo and Sheneneh, and Martin was the joint, man.
Yeah.
At the snack table, it was like this, and he didn't break. And so and I didn't really know the DMV kind of accent. You know what I mean? So even though I thought that was like a South Central accent or just a ghetto accent, it's really Baltimore's accent. It's really, but see, I didn't really know the accent of Baltimore. So,
that's shout out to Baltimore, my hometown. So Sheneneh was supposed to be from Baltimore. I get it. I get it. I hear it a little bit, but
hood rat.
That's a DC person making fun of a Baltimore accent. Okay, it's not a legit Baltimore accent. But
if anybody would know he's in the DMV.
Yeah. But the way, because I think his sister's from Baltimore, I'm assuming. But Sheneneh, she not pure Baltimore, but close. Yeah.
It just made it so much more funny. Because it wasn't until we went to Texas that I knew when people were saying, I'm scared. You're like, what? You're what? I'm scared. You're like, you're what? It's like, I'm scared. You're like, you're what? Oh, you're scared? Like, what the hell are you saying? Same thing with Baltimore. $4 for those fries. You're like, what? They want $4 for those fries. You're like, they want what? They want $5 for those fries? So, it's just... So, the more I got into the accents and toured around the world, it's even funnier.
Yo, I had no idea the show was shooting in front of a live audience.
Yes.
You could hear him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We had an audience.
You can hear him. It didn't say, canned laughter sounds different than that real audience laughter. You can hear because it's off rhythm. You can hear people yell out when people come in. You don't pay that much attention to it.
Nah, because some of them are supposed to be in front of a live studio audience, and then some of that is like
it's what's called canned laughter. That's when people just play laughter.
Right. When you press the button.
Nah, the quality of laughter of a live studio audience is always different. It's out of rhythm and they yell when people walk in. You ever see like I'm gonna give you a classic.
Like Biggie walk in, Snoop Dogg,
and you can hear the energy level. Yeah. It's not the same as canned laughter.
Okay.
Yeah, we had an audience. Yep, they had an audience out there. Everybody had their own thing. I mean, we were on set for like, I would say 12 hours. I know I was probably on set for 12. They probably was on set even more. It was really just a fun, friendly environment. I mean, Tisha, Tashina, they had their things, that they did. They would, have all these, they would color. They had all these like 100 markers, and they would do all their painting. Me, I'm just walking around. I'm at the snack table. I don't have a hobby yet. I didn't know that, there was a culture to filming this long. I was in there trying to learn my lines, making sure that I wasn't messing up, so they didn't have to say cut on me. But so it was really a chill environment. Martin brought so many of his friends. I mean, there was a lot of friends who came on set. And for me, it was like being in a museum of the arts, because I had been told no so much from auditioning to finally be in the setting of a film set or a TV set for so many days and so many hours. It was the school I needed. So for me, I was just in the museum of the Martin Show.
A funny scene that she did? The car scene. That was hilarious, man.
The car scene. I know they were sharing the car.
He ad-libbed like crazy. That they put the car on one of these rockers. So the car's not really moving, but it gives you the motion that it's moving. And they got the cameras in there, so they just moving. So it's just like, and Martin is just so stupid, because the part of Sheneneh, and Keylolo, that wasn't a part of the line. He just would add lines. I mean, when we did the famous talent show skit, I went in, he said, I told him I'd write it. You can't get royalties on it, but we'll pay you. If you write it, we'll pay you. And they paid me a nice fee to write the rap for that outside of Keylolo. And Martin and I went into the studio and we recorded it, and I had it different. And I had it a little different. I had the Don't Nobody Know Me Like My Homies. You suckers that be all up on me. Yeah, I know you phony. And he changed it to Don't Nobody Know Me Like My Homies. So I opened up that 40. And I say, and then he said, I said, don't be trying to trick if you ain't rich. He came in, Sheneneh ain't no trick, you better have a career, So after we did it and he learned it, and to hear him come back with what he said was just even stupid. And then to perform it, because everything moves so fast. So you record it, they get the music, we go in there, we record it, then it's the taping. So I wasn't that used to the turnaround that quick, so now it's time to go, and it's like, okay, come on, and so I gotta learn not to crack up. I gotta learn to not crack up so much. But just that whole thing, all the way down to the flowers, it was just certain things they didn't tell me that was happening, or they just was like, okay, the flowers, bring the flowers, and Sheneneh jumping all in front of me like, holla,
Yeah, she seemed like she in good spirits.
Just the holla, but serious as hell. hilarious. Some of my most memorable times was the Martin Show.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite 90s shows. Love that show.
Oh my goodness. Listen, Martin would ad lib. I'm telling you, sometimes some of the best takes is when he was ad libbing, but they can't keep it because everybody would bust. He would just change. Yeah, they couldn't keep it because nobody kept their face.
Yeah, very special talent. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like nobody would keep you. They couldn't hold face. So a lot of the real good, funny stuff. I mean, you know, you're seeing funny stuff. You're seeing great content, but the real funny stuff where he was just raw and naturally just stupid.
they couldn't use it.
Couldn't keep it because nobody could keep a face. They would just
same way here at 92 strong.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of stuff don't make it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff don't make it, man.
For a lot of other reasons too, though. Anyway, shout out to Yo Yo. She's still fine too now. Ow.
Yeah.